Hi children, good morning. Welcome to our next class. In last class you learned about birds' beaks and how they are using the beaks, how their toes and claws are arranged and how they are using the claws. This all you learned. In today's class we are going to learn about the other very important feature of birds. Before knowing that, a small question for you. Where do the birds live? What can you see here? Yes, it is a nest. So birds build nests to live in that, and mainly to keep their eggs. To keep their eggs in and to take care of their young ones, they are making nest. In different shapes they'll make the nest. That's what you're going to learn in today's lesson. So our today's topic is nests of birds. What materials actually the birds use to make their nest, and what are the different shapes, how which bird will make what shape, and how they are collecting the materials to build the nest. Those all we are going to learn in today's class. Before knowing, once we'll see the keywords in this chapter. So the first one is mound. M-O-U-N-D, mound. Mound means a large pile or heap, a very big heap known as mound. So this word, where it comes in this particular LP, you can see. And now before knowing that what materials birds are going to use, we'll do one small activity. You collect these all the materials which I am showing in the picture. Collect these materials like straw grass, leaves, ribbons, twigs, cotton balls, pencils, steel nails, knives and forks. These all the materials you collect from your home and wrap them and take a box. Many you will get these boxes in while buying the shoes and all, or else while buying saris. Collect any one cardboard made box and old newspapers you take, and you see the different types of nests from the content book and try to prepare any one type of nest which is shown in the content book. In that way you just guess it. Can you make the nest by using these sharp things like fork, like knives and steel nails, and these pencils? Do they need for making the nest? Do you think are the birds using these sharp nails for making their nest? Not at all. They'll not use these steel nails, knives and forks, and very sharp pencils also they'll not use, because they harm them. They may hurt their eggs, they may harm to their young ones. So very sharp things they'll never use for making their nest. Then what type of materials birds are using to build their nest? They are using straw, grass, means the dried grass they are using. Leaves they will use, dry leaves or fresh leaves. And ribbons, old ribbons they are using. Some plant twigs they will use. Cotton balls they'll use. But only the sharp nails, knives, forks, pencils, these all they will avoid for making a nest. Why they are avoiding the sharp things means because they may harm to their young ones and they may harm to their eggs. Okay, now we will see by using all these materials which bird, what type of nest they are making, we'll see. Okay, now once come to your content book. See in your content book how beautiful nests are there. You can understand. So the first picture is woodpecker. Woodpecker lives in the trunk of trees. So a very big trunk, and you can see their young ones in the trunk of the tree. So the mother bird collect the materials, or the mother bird makes a hole with the help of sharp beak and the trunk of tree, and it laid the eggs in this hole, and then the eggs are hatched, and the mother bird can take care of the young ones. So woodpeckers are digging holes in the tree trunks and making their nest. And now you learnt the hard word as mound in keywords. Mound means a heap of mud, heap of leaves and the twigs. This all known as mound. So the flamingo birds, the bird picture is missing here. It has given in your textbook. The flamingo bird use this all this mud, leaves and twigs and make like a heap, and then on that heap they lay their eggs, and they can take care of their young ones with the help of mound. And before class you learnt about kingfishers. They have a sharp pointed beak to catch the fishes, you learnt, right? So owls and kingfisher, they dug the holes in ground. They'll make holes in the ground and they will live inside, and they hatch their eggs. So these holes which they are digging, they are making in the earth, those are known as burrows. So owl, kingfishers live in burrows. Understood? And a sack-like nest, how beautiful it is. This sack-like nest is made by weaver bird. Weaver birds they'll weave a nest. Beautifully they'll weave a nest called as weaver bird's nest. It looks like a sack, and they use plant twigs, dried grass, all those what we discussed just now. They'll use all those and make like a sack-like nest that is done by the weaver bird. And penguins live in very cold regions, and plantation is very less in cold regions, that also you know very well. So they'll use some stones to make their nest. They are making their nest by using some pebbles, right? So that's why this nest is known as stone net. Stone nest, penguins are living in stone nest. Understood, children? So the woodpeckers are making their nest in tree trunks. Kingfishers, owls are making their nest by digging the earth called as burrows. And weaver bird making a nest in shape of a sack. A sack-like nest is made by a weaver bird. And penguins are making stone nest. Understood? So these are the different types of nests made by birds. Okay. Now we will see the video of this lesson. You'll get more about nest.
Birds make nests using the materials they find around them. Birds don't use things that can harm them, such as nails. Birds make nests to lay eggs and to protect them.
You can understand what materials they were using to make the nest and what purpose they are building nest.
Birds make nests using the materials they find around them. Birds don't use things that can harm them, such as nails. Birds make nests to lay eggs and to protect them.
Understood? So the sharp things they will avoid for using. Now we'll see the content practice questions given in page number 22. The first question, most birds living in forests use twigs to make a nest. Write any two other materials that they can use. He has already mentioned the twigs, so dried grass they are using, cotton balls they'll use, and the plant twigs he already mentioned here. So any two other materials right beside this question. And the second one, first fill in the blank. Birds make nest to provide them with what purpose birds are making nest? To provide shelter or the food? To take the shelter. So underline the shelter and fill up this blank. And the next one, nests help to dash the chicks. So nest is helping to protect or to teach. They are helping to protect. And the third one, a pigeon sometimes lay eggs without making a proper nest. Write two things that can happen to its eggs. A pigeon, a cuckoo is one of the common bird. It will never make it nest, and it keeps its eggs in other birds' nest. It will keep the eggs in others birds' nest which is already prepared, and that it lays their eggs, cuckoos. Other birds will take care, they will hatch them, and they'll treat those young ones are their own young ones, and they will teach them to fly. They bring the food and feed them. So the cuckoo never makes a nest. In the same way, the pigeons also. A pigeon sometimes lay the eggs without making a proper nest. So sometimes it will make the nest, sometimes it will not make nest, and it will lay the eggs. If it happens like that, what happens? There is harm for its eggs. The eggs may broken down, or some other animals may eat those eggs. So that's not a proper way of protecting the eggs. So there is less chance to hatch and give rise to the nestlings. So these answers write in your textbook, children. And now we will move on to the worksheet. What worksheet is given in this particular content we'll see. So here also again circle the materials. Circle the materials which birds can use to make their nest. Are they using grass? Yes, they'll use grass. Plastic? They won't use. Mud? Yes, they are using mud. Stones? They are using. And fork? They will not use. Steel blocks? They'll not use. Branches? They are using. So circle these things which birds are using to make their nest. And the next one is draw the nest of any bird. I like weaver bird nest very much, children. So I am gonna draw a weaver bird's nest. So this is up to your wish which bird nest you would like to draw. You can see from the content book and draw such nest. Okay. Yes. So any bird's nest you draw beautifully, and don't forget to label it. I did a weaver bird's nest. Okay. And the next one is, and the next question you see B bit. What materials can be used to make the nest that you drew? So what materials generally here? The dried grass and the twigs of plants. These things are needed for a weaver bird to make its nest. According to your chosen nest, you can write the materials needed for building that particular nest. Next one, why do birds make nest? It is surely to lay their eggs and to protect their young ones they are making nest. What would happen if a sparrow lays its eggs on the ground instead of making a nest in a tree? You know that the birds are making their nest at the top of the trees, on the branches of the trees for proper protection, to give proper protection. They are doing like that. So, on top of the trees, animals rarely will go there, and they will see the safest place where the branches are near to each other. In those areas, the birds build nest. Instead of making the nest in that way, when they make the nest on the ground, there is a chance for the eggs may get broken and the other animals may come and eat their eggs. So there is no chance for giving a nestling or for hatching those eggs. So that is the harm when the sparrows build their nest on ground. Understood? So you complete page 15 from volume book, and at the same time page 22 practice questions both you complete, and get ready for coming class, children. Thank you.